This message was just released by the Israel verified account associated with the foreign ministry. They said, quote unquote, there are no innocent civilians there. This is explicitly genocidal intent. Imagine if on the Biden-Harris account they posted something like this, or on the Trump account on TikTok they posted something like this. People wouldn't just wipe it away, act like it's nothing, act like it's not indicating of anything. This would be headline news. What more do you need to know that there is intent for a genocide here? A complete devaluing of every human life in Gaza. This sentence has been deleted, but you can find it in the archives. Plus, there are plenty of other people with screenshots associated with this. Not only did they post this to their account, but they paid money to make it an advertisement. How sick do you have to be to make this an advertisement? Saying every single person that is in Gaza is not fucking innocent when a majority of the people living there are women and children. By the same reasoning, there would be no innocent civilians in Israel, which is clearly absurd under their worldview. So why is it okay to say there are no innocent civilians here, but not there? That's hypocritical.
They shouldn't have refugee camps in their own country. How are you a refugee in your own country still? Like, it's that simple. That's how it has to be thought of. It's unnatural for them to be refugees in their own home. And that's what Israel
Yeah.
has done to us.
And I've noticed, like, I've been watching like a lot of videos from Gaza, videos on the ground, people that posted them. I've watched videos of Palestinian children doing the debka, and one thing I noticed is the diversity in Palestinians. I mean, on the one side, you see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Palestinians. On the other side, you see ginger Palestinians. On the other side, you see black Palestinians. And especially the black Palestinians, to me, was just incredibly fascinating, because usually when people think Arab is a race, and then they think, oh, there's only one kind of Arab, and have a very reductionist perspective of what an Arab should look like or who an Arab should be. So could you maybe, like, I don't know, like, share some insight into like black Palestinians? Like, who are they? Like, are they only in Gaza, or is it all over Palestine? Just like some information about that, because especially it being Juneteenth, I think it's very interesting to see how in every single country or on every single continent there are somehow black people. We're just everywhere, I guess.
Well, so there is a community of Afro-Palestinians within Palestine, and the reason for that is during pilgrimage, the Muslims um, of the African countries were making pilgrimage to Mecca, and then on their way back, they would visit Al-Aqsa Mosque, and some chose to stay and integrate with the Palestinian society. Some chose to go home. After 1948, with the stricter border laws, many were forced to stay, and that's when they created the Afro-Palestinian community, which many people don't know about it. Two very prominent people within the Afro-Palestinian community are Ali Jidda and Fatima Bernawi, and those Ali Jidda actually joined the PFLP movement in the early stages during the 1967 war, when these two particularly participated in the violent resistance against the occupation. And yeah, it's a really it's I know it's an I'm sorry, hold on.
No, it's okay.
I want to clarify that even like terms, right? Like Afro-Palestinian, those are like American-made terms. Everyone for like in Palestine, everyone's Palestinian regardless of color. Like there's genuinely, when we say that there is no difference for Palestinians, it's because there really isn't. Like there really is, I mean, like there's no difference, you know? We all, especially because of the Israeli atrocities, we all get unalived the same. We all get unalived equally. Within Israel, there are differences. Within Israel, there is racism. There's racism if you are a Ethiopian Jew. There's racism if you are a black Palestinian. There's racism if you're Palestinian. There's racism if you're a white Palestinian, if you're an olive Palestinian. It's for them, yes, there are differences. For us, we're all gonna get unalived equally by them, you know? So it doesn't, I remember when I first heard the term like here, right? Where they're like, oh, I don't see color. I understand the ignorance of that statement here in America from the people who say that statement. But in Palestine, for us, we truly don't. We're all the same. We're all neighbors. We're all equals.
Yeah, we don't really differentiate between. And I was telling Kobe last night, like I have a mix. It's like she said, there is where we are extremely diverse, and you can see that in like my children, right? So I have one child who's yes, right now, Mama. I have the second he hears me talking, he needs me. I'm so sorry, guys. This is why I'm quiet. But yeah, so with I have one child who looks, she has blonde hair, blue eyes, and I have another child who's extremely Levantian in features with olive skin. So that's exactly like that's what Kobe was saying. Um, Very diverse, and that's why we don't really differentiate based on color. And yeah, that.
Thank you so much for answering those questions.
Hey, Athena, do you like this background for later? I was just testing it out.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, for Parker? Or for who?
I mean, well, when Parker will be on in a little bit, but yeah, I'm just saying, do you like it for like after Dangerously Early's over? So like around noon?
That sounds
Okay,
good.
cool.
It's a
What's the
gorgeous
last
background.
flag?
Literally, please.
Mr. Jones, what
Jones
was the
is so
top
creative.
one? What's the very top flag?
Congo, Haiti, Sudan. So Congo's down there, the blue one.
Congo and Haiti.
Sudan is
Oh, I
up
didn't
there.
know the
Haiti's right
Sudanese
there.
flag.
Palestine. Yeah.
It has a star? I didn't know that it had the star. My bad. That's what confused me.
Mary, good morning. Have you had some water and said something kind about
I'm
yourself?
sorry.
Good morning. You know what? I have not, and I should, and I'm going to. I will do that right after this. I appreciate you guys for allowing me up. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and everything that you're talking about and raising awareness for. What I do is I host lives for families to share their story and have a safe space to be humanized for a moment. I give them individual lives and I also give group lives and I also advocate for them just outside, period. But what I appreciate is you guys giving suggestions and bringing awareness to the other parts of it, like the divestment and how they can take action in other ways. I welcome anybody in this live to come and, mention something like that while we have families,
Yeah, I'll fix it.
people in there supporting families to hear these things. I also really implore anybody in this live period to come and put a face to those numbers. Here, if you're feeling unsure about where you stand on this issue, if you're still saying it's a political issue, if you're still saying any of these things, come and hear these families. Come and hear their pain when they're talking about having to run from place to place to place and having their homes destroyed and their families ripped apart. Literally, almost every single family I'm helping has their families entirely scattered everywhere, and they're terrified every day. And we can hear everything behind them that they're going through every moment. And I just really, we need to be way more louder and get more people to understand what's truly happening, because they're putting out ads now. And I caught a live, I believe it was the day before yesterday. And I took a screenshot of it, so I would definitely share it anytime. But they're putting an ad out saying that there's no innocent civilians at all, that all of them participated in October 7th, and that like they're pushing this narrative way harder than they ever did. And it is disgusting because they're defending the fact that children can be annihilated like this because they're going to grow into I can't say the word here, but tease. And we just all need to really be supporting each other. Yeah, I know. I see in the comments it's shocking. I could I actually share the screenshot so that you guys can see what the background of this live was, so that you can see what they're pushing out there, if you don't mind.
If it's nothing that could take the live down, then you
I
could
don't
shoot.
I don't think
Even
it will.
even if it does, we'll just go to the other account. But
Okay.
Okay, give me
Jones
go
has
ahead.
0 fucks now at this point with TikTok. Like, our patience is over.
sorry guys, I'm grabbing it 1 second. You see this?
Yeah, the basic rhetoric that we've been hearing. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
You hide our hostages in your homes. You are not innocent civilians. You are teased.
And as I'm sitting here every single day, I mean, I literally witnessed one of my families, a missile went right at their camp, and her sister, the main person that I was talking with and I communicate with, her sister and her children were unalived. We witnessed it on a live. She was scared and she asked if we could go live so we could talk with her and she could feel like she was with us. So these people have never even heard of the age group or seen them or anything. And this is the narrative that they are pushing so hard. Like I said, Izzy has put an ad on all social media that says this exact thing, that there's nobody that's innocent. And it's just so important, you guys, that we humanize every single one of these families, because they're doing this so like rapidly and aggressively to make sure that people don't believe that there could possibly be anybody innocent there. We're talking about thousands and thousands of people and children every day. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak. I followed all of you. I support all of you guys, and I appreciate you.
Can we talk about like the median age of Palestinian citizens, like how old they actually are when Hamas was made to be leadership for the Palestinian people, like in reference to the age of the current citizens, maybe some statistics on who actually was even around to put them in place.
Like, almost nobody. The average citizen in Gaza is 18 years old.
44% are under the age of 14.
And at the time of the last election was in 2006, and at that time it was the majority of it was children. So whoever voted for Hamas, whoever voted Hamas into government right now is well over the age to be blaming them for what's happening. In addition to that, I would like to strongly emphasize that Hamas wouldn't be a violent resistant group if it wasn't for occupation and oppression and apartheid. I personally, Janine, do not blame H Group for what's going on. They are the only people standing up for us at this point on the ground, and I see nothing wrong. Do I condone the unaliving of innocent civilians? Absolutely not. Do I advocate for a violent resistance? Yes, I do, because we've tried. We've tried
Yeah.
peace, and no one is listening.
I don't. I'm like pro Hamas as well. And it's not out of the reason that I just think that they can exist in a vacuum. They can only exist because of the occupation and because of the genocide and because of the unaliving and the apartheid that has been going on for decades. That's why I'm pro.
Yeah, you literally can't tell a people, you know what I'm saying, an oppressed people how to liberate themselves. Like you can't tell a group that quite literally has been existing in an open air prison how to resist their imprisonment.
And I mean, the thing is, if you want Hamas to go away, then give the Palestinians their land back, and then we can all collectively hold hands and condone Hamas. Once we give them their land back.
But H group themselves, Hamas themselves say that I have to get used to being able to say it. Hamas themselves say that if you find us complicit in any war crimes, we will punish those responsible. And so that's why I look to them for liberating us, because they don't shy away from taking accountability for their actions. Whereas you have Israel that denies any and all war crimes that are put forth against them.
Yeah, and if you look at the hostages too, like the treatment is like vastly different. Like look at the hostages that were held by Hamas versus the hostages that were held by the IDF, worlds apart. So even like the freedom fighters are not trying to specifically target children, unlike Israel does.
I want to read something that somebody sent me. I don't agree with muting someone that says, I'm Yisrael Chai in your live. Freedom of speech is important. There's nothing offensive about that phrase. Jewish people need voices too. Please think about this. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not anti-Semitic. I am not anti-Jewish people. I am anti the state of Israel. I am anti its existence and its government. I always have been. I always will be. In addition to that, and I say this with my whole chest, I want you to understand this. I do not believe in freedom of speech. You have zero freedom of speech here. I am not the US government. I do not give a fuck whether it bothers you or not. You can kick rocks. If you don't like it, don't stay here. You can block me. You know what I'm saying? You cannot come on my lives. I do not care. Being antagonistic in my life is not going to be accepted. Period. I do not care about your feelings. And I mean that with every single cell in my body. I do not care about your feelings. You have no freedom of speech here.
Mr. Jones. Just like those college students in the encampments didn't have freedom of speech, I guess you don't have freedom of speech here.
Facts. I wanted to point out, Mr. Jones, I hope you noticed that I don't know if it was voluntary or involuntary, but when you were explaining that, you had to explain that you don't have anything against Jewish people. The fact that Israel has conflated Judaism with their apartheid state is disgusting. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Religion,
Muslim,
ethnicity.
so I
The religion, the ethnicity, and the government are not one and the same.
exactly.
Yeah, if I had a
Exactly.
dollar every time I was called anti-Semite for speaking out against Israel and being compared to Nazis, and I'm saying this again, and this is like the last time, and I don't know if you don't comprehend it by now, I cannot help you. Like you're intellectually just not on the same level as me, and I can't do any more than that. Hating somebody for being Jewish is very different than hating somebody for committing atrocities that happens to be Jewish.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly
And
that.
actually,
Also,
Jamad in the comments, I don't know if you see him, is Jam okay? He's the one who said it best, and I took it from him, and I love it so much. He said, we didn't get to choose our occupiers. We didn't get to choose our oppressors. You know, that's not any indication from us. It's not our fault that any
Thank
of
you,
this
Rebel
is
Cal.
happening, you know? I love that he said that. That was my favorite.
I think the TikTok advocate and social Smitty, like Smitty, I think came in first, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you
I've
for
been
being
holding
patient,
my hand
guys.
out for a
Yeah.
long time. So
Yeah. One more second. Well, we typically try to allow women and femme presenting people's voices be heard first, and I'm sure Social Smitty will understand that. But I just want to read this from one of our Tough Fam members who happens to be Jewish. They asked me to read this to everybody. I know it is very important to hear all the voices of the people of Palestine. There are family members from my mother's side that I will never know much about because they were exterminated during the Holocaust. As a Jewish person, I cannot sit by and not let my voice be heard to stop another G-side and the oppression of all people. Palestine needs to be free from the Zionist regime. And we need to put pressure on Israel and, more importantly, our own government to support that. We are not free until we are all free. So
Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's because of Jewish allies like that, anti-Zionist Jewish allies. It's also very, very important. It's our responsibility to really, really make a distinction between Zionism and Judaism. I mean, even though the Israeli government tries to actively conflate the two, and even though you have had bills that have been passed in America, in Western Europe, that also try to actively conflate the two to make any form of Palestinian resistance impossible, to label as anti-Semitic, I think it's very important to actively differentiate and distinguish between Judaism and Zionism, because Zionists have hijacked Judaism, and doesn't mean they're synonymous. Sorry, TikTok advocate. But Brett, can you mute? Okay, thank you very much. Continue, please.
We'll put those lies in front of us, and we'll put those lies in front of everyone, right? To hold us back. And again, if we don't also take a look at the lies they've told us about other people and deconstruct those lies, then we will then hold those other people back. For instance, can you guys hear me, by the way? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Perfect. So one of the things that Alam and Janine talked about was the March of Return. And I thought that was very important to bring up. And I want to emphasize it a little bit more in the sense is that what have we heard in regards to Palestinians in America? All we've heard is that Palestinians are these violent people. They wake up in the morning, they just want to unalive Israelis, and they go to sleep. And before they go to sleep, they may want to unalive a couple more. Right, but we don't hear about anything else. We never really heard about the March of Return, this nonviolent march. Why didn't we hear about it? Because it goes against the narrative that we are supposed to believe about Palestinians, right? And then when you dig in more about the March of Return, you see how problematic Israel's response to it is. Of course, they don't want you to know about it, right? They don't want you to know that Israel maimed so many people, right? Arms blown off. Legs blown off, so many people that it was evident when you walk through the streets of Gaza who was at these marches and who was not. It was a significant enough amount of people that it was actually registered as a percentage of the population of these people being maimed, specifically because they were supposedly 100 feet or 50 feet into a quote unquote no-go zone. Right? I want you to think about that. Right? That there were so many people maimed that it was evident, right? I want you to think about, again, we focus on violence, and violence is important to focus on. But I want you to think about today that there are Palestinians in Hebron, right, today that have to enter their home through the roof of their house. They have to enter their home through a window because the Israelis occupy the street that they live on. I want you to think about what would you do if you saw your grandmama or your mother go up a ladder and slip and fall because she's just trying to get into her house. What would you do? Right? I want you to think about what would you do, right? If you saw the IDF walking towards you and push you off the side of a road, what would you do if that was your mother or your grandmother? What would you do, right? Would you just take it day by day by day by day? What you realize, right, once you start to get education, you realize that Palestinians are some of the most patient people on the earth. You realize that what you've been taught, that these people are so violent and they just want to commit, you realize that they're actually the opposite. And so I would implore everybody today, don't take my word for it. Don't take Mr. Jones's word for it, Covey's word for it, whoever you follow. Go and read some third-party peer-reviewed studies. Go and read, right, and learn about the connections. And what you're going to see is what they have done to Black people for centuries. The same has been done to Palestinians to make us believe Palestinians are a certain type of way, a certain type of other way, right? And I would say this to my folks who are listening to this that may be Jewish or that may be pro-Israeli or whatever it may be, right? Harold Washington, when he was running for mayor in 1985 in Chicago, he said, just because I love black people don't mean that I hate you, right? And I would say that and rephrase it for Palestinians, just because I love Palestinians don't mean that I hate you, right? In fact, right, the moral barometer for anybody should be, how do you treat the least? How do you treat the least of those, right? I'm not going to judge you, right, or
That's
judge your moral
all
compass
I
by how well
literally
you treat
ever
white
talk
people in
about.
America.
Yeah, that's all I ever talk about. How do you treat the least of these?
Right.
Whoever the most marginalized people within a society, how do you treat them? And if you're not treating them the same way that you would expect to be treated, then you are in fact the problem. You are a bad person. Simply that.
If I could
Exactly.
add something,
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
mean to
Exactly.
interrupt.
So when we think, just one more real quick thing. When we think about that area, right, the moral barometer should be the occupation, right? So when you get on a live or when you have a discussion, right, yes, October 7th, right, was horrible. Absolutely. Civilians were killed. But the moral barometer should be the occupation.
100%. And on top of that, it's like, that's like Mr. Jones said, even if that were true, would that justify a G-side against children? Like, you're still going to allow children to be unalived? It's, I don't know.
I'll be back in just a moment, guys.
Yeah, I guess, I think, Mary, you wanted to say something? You're Palestinian, right?
I actually am a mix of things, Jewish being one of them. My family was Jewish and Russian because they were displaced that way during the Holocaust. But I also have I'm Mexican, I'm Native American.
Okay.
But also, what I wanted to add actually onto that, him saying that they are not violent. Every single family is so peaceful when they speak, even in the midst of these conditions. And I want everybody to think of like how many people they've dealt with, at least here in America, if you're an American, that you understand, like when people are in distress, they're usually pretty aggressive and violent and like, hey, I'm starving, or hey, I need this and that, and that's how they are. I have not had one single, and I've been doing this for months, and I've been talking to families, new families, the same families, all of them throughout all of this, and the middle of their stress, the middle of them being attacked, all of these things, and not one of them has been violent or aggressive to me. And again, I implore people to come and hear them speak for themselves, so you can hear their voice, so you can hear their pain, but also so you can hear their sincerity and how kind and loving these people are. And they literally just want to live. They don't want anything else other than to live. And all of them, they're doctors, they're nurses, they're teachers, they're hardworking. I imagine, like, if we get a room full of Americans, you're probably going to be lucky to have one doctor, one nurse. And I could literally gather like 10 of my families that I help, and you're going to have like 9 doctors, a teacher, a therapist, like all of these things. They're just so kind and loving and peaceful. And if you are unsure at all, I really, really, reach out to a family, look at them, hear their voices. Like I said, come to my lives, hear them speak, and understand firsthand what they're going through. And that's all I wanted to add, was just how kind and peaceful and loving these people are. And we have been brainwashed, at least in this country, to think they're all crazy maniacs that just want to hurt us, because that's not at all. And they love us so much for standing with them and speaking and being their voices at this time. So that's all I wanted to say.
I guess for now, we can transition to maybe if anybody in the in the live, there are 604 people here. Again, this project, I came up with it because I want us to hear a Palestinian perspective. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask, feel free to request, come up, and you can ask questions. If you maybe have social anxiety and don't want to come up, you can also try to ask the questions in the comments, and I will try to relay them over to the Palestinians on the panel. And until those questions come in, maybe Ahlam or Janine, so on October 9th, when, sorry, Yov Galant said that he would shut off electricity, fuel, food, water, just a complete siege. That to me was baffling, I think, to many people. I mean, to me, it wasn't baffling, but to many people, it might have been baffling. People who might not have known anything about Palestine. Thank you very much for coming up, Kitty. But to a lot of people who might not have known about Palestine, and my question is, could you maybe share some points on why Israel even controls everything about not only Gaza, but the West Bank and East Jerusalem and just occupied Palestine as a whole?
Yeah, I
It's a
think it was.
report made by Amnesty International where they go into depth as to how the Israeli regime occupies the resources for the Palestinian people, in a sense, to control and annex them from the. It's just another play at making Palestinians uncomfortable to the point where they need to pick up and leave. Right. There is a military order 158, which says that even though um, during the disengagement plan of 2004, when they removed the settlements from Gaza and they destroyed any and all agriculture and water dissolution, I can never pronounce that word right, plants, they still require that Palestinians on both sides, in the West Bank and in Gaza, they are required to file permits with the Israeli government before building any type of water wells or desalination. I'm saying it so wrong, plants. And so, yeah, as Ahlam said, they control the water and all of our resources in order to further occupy us. And yeah, oppress us. Ahlam.
Yeah. So basically, do Palestinians have control over like their import or export? Ahlam or Janine?
No. So, like I mentioned, Israel controls what comes in and out of Gaza. Um, and for that, as well as the West Bank, too. Like, just to
West Bank.
clarify, they control everything. They control what comes in, what comes out. They control, in Gaza specifically, they actually had a calorie count. So they would, control how much they were able to consume in a day. Obviously, they're not sitting there checking their spoon, but that means that they were able to account for everything that goes in, how much food is available to them, right? And that's what contributed to the food insecurity prior to October 7th that was in Gaza. So even before October, even before, them wanting to blame Hamas, no, there was food insecurity in Gaza, actually. I don't know the exact, percentages. I don't know the stats on that exactly, but there was food insecurity within Gaza. It was, a lot of people had suffered from that prior to October, prior to any sort of, justification from their end, trying to say, well, we had to cut it off. No, it's been cut off. It has been for a while, for a long time.
Okay. So it's like if Palestinians just have absolutely no control or no autonomy or no agency on their own land, and they have been displaced, there are refugees in their own land or in the diaspora. The refugees in the diaspora or the Palestinians in the diaspora, are they able to go back home, apply for visa or whatever it is, and just go back and move home?
Absolutely not. Ahlam, did you want to take this?
No, you're good.
So my father had instilled in us at a very young age that in order one form of resistance is for us to keep going back home and staying there. But the one thing that is hindering us from actually living there is the fact that we would need a Palestinian, actual Palestinian citizenship. And if we did get Palestinian citizenship, then we would be confined to the laws regarding those citizenships. So for now, Palestinians in diaspora that do visit the Middle East and have a home in the Middle East, we are only able to stay there 3 months, sometimes less out of the year, depending on the mood of the person providing the visa to us. And it makes it very difficult. I would love to raise my children back home. I would pack up in a heartbeat and move them there immediately. But we aren't able to because of the laws that Israel has implemented in regards to Palestinian citizenship. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think, Mr. Jones, some people might have missed the painting.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to bring it up again. So I'm gonna give you the big box again, and then I'll go over the artwork when you're done.
Yeah. Okay. So there have been some people in the comments who have asked what they should do as well. So this is a debut life, Mr. Jones again. I'm gonna repeat everything I said earlier because I genuinely also appreciate Mr. Jones. All the people who have chosen to participate in this project. I came up with this project. It's called From the River Across the Sea. And I genuinely wanted to continue amplifying Palestinian voices and continue talking about this issue because of the urgency of this G-side or genocide that's happening in Gaza, but also the unalivings that are actively happening in the West Bank as well. Over 300 people have been unalived, and in East Jerusalem, people are also actively occupied. So I have decided to reach out to a couple of people who I deeply appreciate and respect and have known for a while now. I would consider friends. And they have agreed to participate with me in this live series, which, good morning, Crow, by the way. In this live series, this is going to be the beginning of the series. Today on Juneteenth, we have 2 lives that are going to be hosted. This is not versus. This is not a debate between Mr. Jones and Parker. That's not what it is. This is just a poster showing that both of them are going to go live today. Mr. Jones went live starting at around 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Parker is going to go live at his usual time, which is about like 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
If Parker wants to debate me on capitalism, we can do that.
Ooh, I've been
It's
wanting to debate
time.
him on capitalism too.
I think it's time. We should do like a
It's past time.
5v1 against Parker. All the commie mommies and daddies
Commie
are
mommies is crazy.
against the lib.
Yeah. So there are a couple of debaters and TikTok hosts who I legitimately respect who have decided to participate in this project From the River Across the Sea again. It is paying an homage to From the River to the Sea, which is a slogan for Palestinian liberation. And this is going to be a fundraiser live. I am deeply grateful for Don Trell because he gave up his painting, which Mr. Jones is going to show after I'm done with this explanation, to be auctioned off. I am deeply thankful to Crow and Liv for getting the website running and starting for the ticket sale, and the website to the ticket sale for the painting you will find in Mr. Jones' link tree in his bio. The first link in his bio, in his link tree, that is the link. The money is going to go to Gaza. The money is specifically going to go to Palestinians on the ground in Gaza who will be able to bring food, water, and medication or medication to Palestinians. So the essentials, basically, as they're going through a genocide. This will just be the beginning. There are going to be multiple lives the coming weeks, and I want to issue a call to action again because I do not want this support to just stop at the live when you turn off your TikTok or you stop using your phone. I want you to continue also mobilizing yourself outside of TikTok as well, right? So I hope this call to action mobilizes you. Number 1, the call to action. I'm asking every single person here, if you guys respect me, I've been on Debate Talk for a long time now. If you guys respect me, if you guys appreciate me, I'm asking you for a favor. That favor is number one, raise awareness. Talk about this issue amongst your family members, amongst your community, on social media, etc. Raise as much awareness as possible. Go to protests. Number three, pressure your representatives. Call them, email them, show up at their office. What was the website that you talked about, Ahlam, with regards to the email? Can you briefly
It's
explain that?
defund-Israel. And all you have to do is put in your zip code. I know somebody asked if it works for Canada. I don't believe so because you need an American zip code. But it'll put in your representatives for you automatically with your zip code, and it'll say, you just have to press send. There's a template already in there.
I just did
Everything's
it,
all
by
typed
the
out.
way. I just did it. I just took a screenshot too. Hold on, I can show people what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but essentially I just typed in my zip code. I'm not going to share that, of course, but it essentially immediately opened up in my email, and it is demanding for the defunding of Israel. And it is a beautifully written text that really shows that you are, as a resident, and them as a representative are not representing you if they are in favor of Israel.
Maybe that can be added to your link tree as well, Mr. Jones.
I'm putting it into
Oh, you're putting it into, what was the website again?
defund-israel.com.
defund-israel.com. defund-israel.com. You put in your zip code, it automatically does everything for you. Let me make myself bigger again. Okay, so this is just the first step into whatever this project is. The first step is paying attention in these lives, educating yourself. The second step is mobilizing and going out and trying to mobilize your community as well. Number four, support student encampments. Whether if you are a student, try participating in your student encampments. If you're not a student anymore, you can visit your student encampments, offer them refreshments, offer them words of encouragement, show them that they have support out there. Number five, boycott. Boycott any corporation that supports Israel and the genocide. There's a BDS list. If you go to Google and you just type in BDS movement list, it will give you a list of things to boycott, to pressure, or to email, whatever it is. That list is there. Number six, voting. Vote at the local level also. Don't only wait for the presidential elections. Vote at the local level so you can get rid of politicians who actively are funding the genocides, not only in Gaza, but also in Sudan, but also in the Congo, and in general, the global south. The global south needs to be liberated. I think Mr. Jones can show the painting that has been revealed today. It was beautifully painted by Don Trail. Was kind enough to auction it off.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Also-
this is the oh.
Really quick, just wanted to.
Oh,
I'm
there
just
you
up here
are,
for
bro!
tonight.
I didn't even know you were here.
Yeah.
I
So I
like,
was just jumping up.
What voice is that? Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, well, no. Anyway,
Jim Crow Jesus at the very least.
Jim Crow. Please don't give me that label. That's the last thing I need. I just wanted to say, with this plate, in appreciation for the Tough family, there's an early bird ticket sale going on right now for the Tough family exclusively. Those tickets, there's 50 tickets available at $25 a piece. The normal tickets for this event in the support of Palestine is 50. But in support of the Tough family, we wanted to give you guys all an opportunity because you've supported us so much. And so those are on sale right now. There are 50 of them. There are only 50 of them. After they're gone, the tickets will no longer be available, and it'll be just the standard 50 from there.
Mr. Jones, wait, let me shrink myself actually. Mr. Jones can show the painting. Oh, We both it's a play, exactly. Crow and Liv decide to create a whole website where you can buy multiple tickets. It's gonna be like some type of lottery system. And at the end of the day, I think in a couple of days, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Friday.
Friday, okay. One person is gonna win this, and then the rest of the money, all of it is going to go to Gaza. Specifically going to go to Gaza to pay for essentials such as water, medication, and food as well. So asked you where you were. Are you going to be an ancestor that they're proud of, or are you going to be an ancestor that are ashamed by? Right.
I didn't paint
So
this, y'all. I didn't paint this. This is
that
not
was
me.
Dontrell.
That
Exactly.
Dantrell Bonet Boone painted this painting. And if you go to the link tree, it'll say Free Palestine. That's what the link says. It says Free Palestine. And that's where you can go to buy your tickets for this plate. I think there still is a couple $25 tickets left. And then after that, they go up to $50. Dantrell's last art piece sold at Neiman Marcus for $52,000.
So, can I make the big screen again? Because I want to
Yep,
share some
absolutely.
stories. This is why we're doing this. This is why it was important for me as well to do this, and I thankfully had so many people who helped do it as well. Let me share some stories with you. My husband, the martyr Muhammad Mahmoud al-Shafa, this is from his wife who's speaking, was 26 years old. He was the best husband, kind-hearted, affectionate, and loved life. He would help anyone in need, and he was a beloved person with a good reputation and high integrity at his workplace. He worked as an accountant at Al Fahad restaurant and was happy with his job. He would spend long hours at work. It had been a year since our marriage, and Allah blessed us with a daughter whom we named Watin. He was very happy to have her because it was his wish to experience the feeling of being a father. He was eagerly looking forward to hearing the word daddy from Watin because he had grown up as an orphan, deprived of hearing that word. And now he was deprived of it once again, as he attained martyrdom before hearing it from his beautiful daughter. Muhammad had many dreams. He dreamed of buying a car and creating a beautiful room for our daughter, Watin. We always planned to build our future together. It was just one day before his martyrdom. He hugged Watin tightly, filled with longing and anticipation, as if he was bidding her farewell and trying to satisfy himself with her presence. He told me at that moment that he felt like he was the next martyr. He took a picture with Watin and it became our farewell photo. On December the 6th, Muhammad hurried out of the house to charge the battery. On his way, he saw an ambulance that had stopped working and needed repair. He stopped to help to fix the ambulance, and while assisting in transporting the injured to the hospital, he attained martyrdom. Sorry, y'all. This is a picture of the child Abdurrahman Muhammad al-Najjar on the same day during the pilgrimage. He was unalived in cold blood by the Israeli army on October the 14th of last year, along with his siblings, his mother, and his father, and a member of the Israeli Crimes Documentation Committee. I need people to realize that the over 36,000 people that have been unalived are not just a statistic, they're not just a number. They're individual human beings who had a family that loved and cherished them, who had a mother that carried them for 9 months and gave birth to them, who had dreams and goals. They were not a statistic, and I need people to continue remembering that. So this is why this project is important, and this is why what's happening in Gaza and also in Congo and Sudan are also very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you can hear me. I was like, why does I thought my mic was off. Thank you, Athena. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oof. All right, here, I'm going to play this. If it's okay with you, Athena, I'm going to play this video now. You good with it?
Yeah, sorry. You're on mute.
We can hear you now.
I hit the wrong button. I boomered out. This is what it feels like to listen to conservatives. Most of you have seen me and Parker debate conservatives, me and Athena and me and Kiara debate conservatives. This is what they sound like. This is exactly what they sound like. This is how I feel when having these conversations with them.
Thank you, Mr. President Trump, Your Majesty. I just want to say on your behalf that I'm a Republican and I believe you when you say that the election was stolen from you and that I believe that you didn't commit tax fraud and that you didn't commit business fraud and that you didn't embezzle millions of dollars from your Trump Foundation charity or scam your university students out of millions of dollars. I believe that. And I believe that you didn't cheat on your wife with a porn star and a Playboy model. And that you didn't pay the porn star $130,000 to make sure she didn't tell anyone about it right before the 2016 election. And that you didn't sexually assault a woman in the dressing room of a department store. And that you didn't conspire to steal the 2020 election by creating false slates of electors. And that you were not complicit in the attempted hanging of your vice president. And that you did not commit child rape with Jeffrey Epstein. And you did not sexually harass over 25 women who came forward accusing you, and that you really didn't enter the Miss Teen USA changing room where girls as young as 15 years old were undressed. And I believe you. I just do.
Right in front of
I don't
him.
believe that you stole classified documents, hid them in your bathroom, and obstructed attempts to get them back by the government. I don't believe it for one sec. And I believe you did not extort Ukraine to interfere in an election in 2020 and encourage Russia to help you win the 2016 election. I don't believe that. And I believe you did not actively undermine the nation's response to a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic and
It
let
keeps
the
going.
deadly disease spiral out of
It really
control for
does.
months. I don't believe it. And that you did not orchestrate a months-long coup attempt that culminated in a violent insurrection to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power and install yourself as an unelected dictator. And I don't believe that you spew deranged conspiracy theories about everything from climate change to immigration to vaccines to windmills. And I don't care that you were impeached twice or that you're a convicted criminal felon. I just don't. Now, I don't believe and I don't care that you're banned from doing business in the state of New York for 3 years. I will do business with you. I will move to New York just to do business with the Trump organization. Or I don't think that you should have to pay the $500 million in business fraud fines because you're innocent. And I don't believe that you took millions from foreign governments while you were president. So to top it all off, I believe President Trump when he says he's not a rapist, he's not a thief, he's not a grifter, a liar, a philanderer, a narcissist, a glutton, a bully, and a complete ignoramus. And I don't believe he cheats at golf. Thank you, Mr. President, for being a good Christian leader dedicated to truth and justice for all. By the way, I would let my wife have your children. Thank you.
Wait.
That was wild.
He said,
Did,
and by
did
the
Trump
way,
respond to it?
No, it was on X. I don't know if he's responded to it or not. It's a guy doing a parody. But when he ends it with I would let my wife have your children, I damn near fell out my seat. I was like, bro, what?
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I mean,
Dude,
but that's how they operate.
That's
Like,
how that's literally how they sound. It's no, like, no
That-
joke.
that was
That's how
pretty
they
good
sound.
satire. I was believing it for a good portion of it, and then like, it kept going. It kept going.
like,
But no,
if
that's
you
literally
see,
how
like,
they sound.
the
Do
Trump.
you know that? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you know that one video of that guy getting arrested in his car? And he goes like, President Trump, please save me, President Trump. And he starts praying to Trump. Y'all know that video?
Trump, please save me, Trump.
No, I'm not.
the,
That's right.
the diarrhea
I have to
version
show
of
y'all the
it.
video. It's
When she was sitting on the toilet. No, but I love when
yes.
they added like the sound effects of her like.
Wait, I don't know that one. I thought. Wait, I thought y'all
No,
were.
that is the
Y'all know the
one.
car
You
one?
want to see it?
Like
Is this
Cargan,
one?
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Y'all know the car one? No.
I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag.
Oh my gosh.
This is America. This is our land.
Oh. Ah.
Please, President Trump. Please, I hope you have a plan.
Oh.
God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please.
Y'all are not okay.
Dude,
Attack.
that's why I say, are you supporting Trump?
Wait, let me show y'all the man who like prays to him. Hold on.
SK, they nuts. I don't even know what the heck that means, but good afternoon. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing fantastic. Have you had some water and said something kind about yourself?
I mean, not really. I just got back from the gym.
And you didn't drink water?
That's
I mean,
crazy.
I drink
That's
water, but
fucking nuts.
I didn't say any kind things to myself. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I say kind things to myself every day. But anyways, go ahead. What do you want to add to the conversation, Fred? Do you believe that Juneteenth is the real Independence Day?
No, I do not.
And why is that?
I'm pretty sure Independence Day is basically where everybody fought for us, so we can like have America. Bruh, I'm gonna be honest. But I mean, do we all
You're
have to
joking,
follow?
right? Like I'm not even American, and I know
You
that.
got to be shitting me right now.
Wait, what was the question?
I asked him what day is Independence Day.
When well,
And
let's
he's like,
ask the
freedom,
Germans here. Okay.
America.
Athena, when is the American Independence Day, or when is it celebrated as?
The 4th of July.
Ding, ding, ding! She passed the citizenship test, and you didn't, bro.
That's
What
crazy.
happened?
Guys, I was joking. Obviously, I know that.
No, you weren't.
Of course you were joking. Of course.
I
No,
wish
they're
you were,
joking.
though. I wish you were, though. Because I feel better about our American education system.
Wait, can I show
bro.
the video? Hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on. I am so sorry.
Yeah, I kind of can say that W.
Because they
Parker
nuts.
and W. Mr. Jones, though, you guys are smart as shit, bro.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So here's baby Kiara now. I
What do y'all
literally
see that I don't
paused.
see?
You see her now.
Yeah, I don't see what
You
you're
don't
saying.
see the.
You're such a man.
Hold on. No, I'm not. We don't see her camera on.
Are you for real?
I see the camera on.
We don't see her camera on.
Nope,
Like
I don't
nobody
either.
else sees it either.
I
Nobody.
see the camera on. I see the baby bump.
Oh, I know. I don't see anything either.
Yeah, I don't see her camera on. Nobody in the comments does. Like you're
That's
the only
crazy.
one, Athena.
Are they
So
That's so weird that TikTok does that.
here, let's try it again.
I was like
Okay,
seeing,
can
I
you
was
turn your
seeing the
camera
guy
on
with his
now?
hand up, and that's about it.
Yeah, there you
Do
go.
you see it now?
No,
Nope.
we don't see
I
anything.
see it. I literally see the.
I think
the
Athena's
baby
fucking
bump.
with us right now.
I swear.
No.
I see the
Well,
baby
Athena
bump.
knows what.
Yeah.
Listen, look how many people are saying
Yes.
no in the chat. I feel like you're fucking with us right now.
No, I actually genuinely. Are you calling me a liar? That's actually crazy.
It's like when I get one of those guests that like no one in the comment section can hear, and only I and the guest can hear them, and we're just like up there, and people just think that we're like wild in the comment section.
Hey, Kiara,
maybe-
drop and come back, and let's try
Yeah,
this
drop
again.
and come back. But
Okay.
while she drops, can you please put me on the big screen? Because this is the
Okay,
video that I
that's
made.
fine.
Not whatever like bathroom disaster that other video was. Ugh. Wait, this one.
Please, somebody tag in Donald Trump. Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me.
What the fuck is going on?
Please stop this treason.
Okay, that one. He literally continues and prays on to like Donald Trump as well. But
Hey, save me, Tom Cruise. Save me, Oprah Winfrey.
Chump, please save me, Chump.
Do y'all remember on Talladega Nights when he thought he was on fire? Save me, baby Jesus. Save me, Tom Cruise. Oh, man. That's crazy. So the police obviously arrested him, right?
yes, they did. They did actually arrest him, but it was still funny. What is this? That's not Kiara?
It's not. It's Mama Amy. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to come up and thank you guys for all the hard work that you do every day. I see you, I watch your lives quite frequently, and I just wanted to give you guys a big shout out for spreading truth and intelligence to this country that is sorely lacking in critical thinking skills. So that was it. I just wanted to come up and share the love and say thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Have a good one. Guys, let's continue to tap the screen. We should probably be well over 100K likes by now. So let's make sure we're actively participating. Let's tap the screen. Let's share the live. If you want to support any of the content creators that are up here, all of our pay links are in the bio. In addition to that, I'd prefer that for right now, you guys go to the link in my bio that says Free Palestine and either bid on one of those beautiful pieces of artwork or buy a ticket for one of those pieces of artwork, or send a donation. You can send small donations if either you don't want artwork or you just want to you just want to donate. Oh, of course, Johnny Thunder. Of course, you don't have enough people to come up. Oh, okay, Kiara, I see it now.
We see it now. We see it now.
We
Now
see
we
her
can see
now,
it.
and
That's
she even.
I know a food baby when I see one.
Oh, shut up! She even has moral consideration now by Parker's standard, not
Wait.
not by Katie's standard, but by Parker's standard.
What week is it?
15.
Oh, I don't hold 15 anymore. I think mine's like I say it's most likely between 18 through 26 for
Damn
the
it.
individual to be sentient.
Well, tomorrow
Almost there.
I hit 16 weeks tomorrow, so she has to wait 2 more weeks and then she can get moral consideration. Like, that's cute.
Thank you, Sally. We're not even going to discuss. You're not even going to discuss my my abortion stance.
Well, well, I think she's a squad member, though. I think you would give her some moral consideration now, Jones.
Yeah, definitely. But you indeed
Remember when
want
we-
to have a child. But
Well,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, okay.
I know.
Remember
We're
when
not
we
going to talk
beefed
about
over
it.
your remember when we beefed, like had a whole ass like debate
We got
and
off of live and went to the Discord to finish the conversation.
because of your abortion stance.
It's
And
terrible. I
we-
think it's probably
It is
one
not.
of the worst
It
ones that I've
is.
ever heard. No, it's
Yeah, that
really
was
bad.
listen, I might be like far left and I might be okay with everything, but that stance got me beefing with you for the first time. That was crazy.
And I mean,
not only me, but Jovan and Kenzie too. We
Yeah,
all
it three of us
doubles
were
down.
beefing. He doubles down too. Like he stands 10 toes down. There's no way.
Taisha agreed with me. Taisha
Okay.
agreed with me. Mr. Thomas agreed with me.
Okay. So
And
two
so-
people.
The same person.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You
Well,
guys want?
it's-
I'll show you. Those
People
are my
that
nails.
say
Fine.
you want to hear it, like you really don't want to hear it. Okay.
You really don't want to hear it.
Yeah, like, well, listen. Jovan disagreed with you. Covey disagreed with you. Kenzie
That's fine.
disagreed with you.
Kiara.
Athena disagreed with you as well.
Yeah.
Athena and Covey both
And at the
disagreed
end of
with
the day, my mind is not changed. I am unmoved.
That's crazy. I'm still gonna talk to you about it. I think I can change him, everybody.
You're never gonna change my
I can
mind.
change him.
What's his name? Mr. Jones sounds like those like red pillars who have like a podcast. They're like a Sigma male dies on every hill. A man of principle. W alpha male. Y'all
I have no
y'all
clue
wanna
what
know
we're
why?
referencing. I don't
Well,
even
What
know
did
what
you
this
say?
view is.
Parker, he
Oh,
has.
it's on a meme. I just
Oh
made it
yeah.
up.
You mean
But
what his abortion stance is? You never
Yeah,
heard
I
it,
don't know
Parker?
what the abortion stance
You
is.
don't.
That's
You
what I meant to
literally
say.
don't want to hear it. It's gonna give you an aneurysm.
Okay. I think everyone wants to know now.
Okay, listen. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Stop.
Here's the deal. I'll make y'all a deal.
Not the
If
gaslighting.
no, I'm
Already.
gonna make y'all a deal. If
Okay.
we do 10 tickets in the next 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like you verify, if we do 10 tickets in the next 10 minutes, then I'll tell you what my stance is. And I'll have Crow track it.
And you have like a live debate between me and Jones afterwards because that's like ultimately gonna happen. It's gonna
And
probably
I'm still not gonna change my mind.
gonna be a 4v1 because Parker's gonna join, Athena's gonna join, and I'm sure that Buffy's gonna join as well. So brace yourself.
So we're gonna go. So at 4 o'clock on the dot, if we sell 10 tickets, links in the bio, then I will tell you what my stance is, and you'll have us debate it.
But I do wanna there are a
At
couple
4
people
o'clock.
I just wanna make sure because I don't want your name
Oh, there's
to be
Crow right there. I was literally just texting him.
No, not 10. There's 936 people in here. If they're not going to get, there are early bird tickets still up. There are tough.
Oh,
there
there
are
is?
tough family exclusive tickets still up. Make it 20.
Okay.
You have
So
sold
20.
18.
Okay, that's fine. 20. There's 20 by the end of by 4. Let's say by 4:15.
Yeah.
20 by 4:15.
There you go.
That gives y'all a little bit of time. So there's 937 people, 20 tickets. Here, they want to know what the ticket is for. Here, I'll show you right now. For your opportunity. Here, Athena, you want to tell them what it is that we're doing here?
Yeah, sorry, I was drinking water. I didn't want to do it like unmuted because I don't do that shit. Yeah.
That's a picture of Athena when she was little.
Yeah, that is me. Every photo of mine when I was little is literally like me
Side
like
eye.
getting side eye. I also have this one. Wait, I'm so sorry. I also have this one, of course. This is like a classic.
And that's Kiara when she was little.
That's me.
Wait, hold on. Where was that one? Why do they have it here? The
Tickets
hell?
right now are $25 if you get one of the first ones.
I am sorry. I have ADHD because I got distracted by looking at like for my photo because I'll show it to y'all after. So.
Okay.
We have a project called From the River Across the Sea. It is a project to amplify Palestinian voices, and this fundraiser is going to be a part of that project. So Don Trell painted this beautiful plate with a Palestinian child and a kufiya around his head as well. And if you can see, like, take a closer look at his eyes, you see like the star and like the American flag, basically. And that's because even though Israel is committing this genocide, America is aiding and abetting in this genocide and is complicit as well. So this Palestinian child and every other Palestinian child as well are basically looking at America because America is also complicit. And so you're going to buy tickets. It's going to go into like this lottery system type of thing. And then one person is going to win this plate and the money is going to be sent to Gaza. Specifically, there are a couple of people that I personally know who are in northern part of Gaza or in the center of Gaza, which again, there's an active famine happening in the northern part of Gaza that try to get water for the population. So that money is going to literally be used for water and food as well, and maybe medication. So it is for a good cause. And yeah. That's what the fundraiser is all
Can
about.
I add something to that really quick, Athena?
Of course.
So a lot of people are also wondering why the GoFundMe's have such high goals. It is due to them trying to escape Gaza, obviously, and Egypt has like very strict refugee laws. Like they have to get documentations and papers, and they don't just do it out of the kindness of their heart. So like I think it's at least $5,000 for one document.
السلام عليكم
Hello.
أختي
And trying
فلسطين
to
وعليكم
get them.
السلام. Wait 1 second. وعليكم السلام. انتي من وين يا اختي؟
من
يا
فلسطين
مريم؟ انتي من فلسطين؟
نعم
لا من سوريا.
نعم فلسطين يا أختي أنا قاعد في سوريا.
تمام طيب. So Mr. Jones, it's like the last group of people as well.
أختي أنا أحتاج المساعدة لدي 3 أطفال.
إيه أنا فاهمة لحظة. 1 second. I'll just give her something, Mr. Jones, and then you can.
Okay.
Mr. Jones,
أنا
I want to make space for this
هرسلك
conversation, so I'm going to drop respectfully. I just want to drop.
Okay, no problem.
أنا هرسلك شيء لحظة.
I'll drop as well, Jones. But I'm tracking for you. I'll let you know. I'll send you a text back.
Before you
Thank you.
drop though, before you drop, can I just say, Crow and Liv were also in charge of like setting up the website. So I know that I had the idea of launching this project, but genuinely this project wouldn't have even like actually like happened today had I not
بارك الله
like
فيكم.
had got
شكرا.
like so much help from so many people that I deeply respect and I deeply care about as well. So thank you so very much. No, why did you drop her? I was gonna say.
Oh, I didn't know that you were. My bad.
I
Apologies.
got distracted. You know I have the
Oh,
memory
no.
capacity. You know I have the memory
I know.
capacity.
I sent them gifts first.
Thank you so much for that. But yeah, I'm tracking it. I'll keep you guys updated. I just need to be on the back end here for a while. Like I said, as soon as these early birds are gone, the tickets just go back to the normal price, and it's 50. You are not limited to one ticket.
We already sold a couple just now.
You did, and I'm watching them as we look.
People
You're
are
not limited to one. The more you purchase, it's just like a waffle. It's literally just like a waffle. The more you purchase, the better your chances are. And like Mr. Jones had said before, the last piece that Dantrell sold, last original piece, went for $52,000. And so this is
Somebody just bought 4 of them.
Incredible piece. Oh, let's see if we hit the 20 yet.
Where are we at?
We were at 18 when we started.
شكرا بارك الله فيكم. شكرا الله يرزقكم الجنة.
We're
يا
at
رب.
37.
بارك الله فيكم. شكرا.
We're about to be
How many
there.
did we do?
One more, and you
One
hit the
more.
20.
Sister.
One
Get
more,
it,
we get
Chad.
to
I want to
20.
hear the stance.
شكرا شكرا. Sister, you?
And just really quick, people are trying to ask for where they can buy the tickets. So
Yes, if you click the link in my bio, it says Free Palestine, and it'll take you right to the page. It'll take you right there.
يا مريم أنا دحين حنزلك طيب تمام بس الله يحميكي إن شاء الله والله يحمي عائلتك كمان.
أختي بس 2000. طلعي أختي وأطفالي نايمين على الأرض. طلع.
تمام.
Who has that's the best. That's the best baby picture right there.
My baby picture is the best baby picture.
That's the best one right there. That's the best one. I think I have a couple of them. Hold on, let me see if yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. And if I show you
And
my kids,
it's done. You hit it.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
wow.
So on that note, there's only 10 of the Tough Family tickets left. Once those are gone, those are gone. We limited each one of our creators that are in the early bird. We limited them to 50 tickets each. Once again, this is for Palestine. We just wanted to allow the communities to have a chance to participate at a for the people price. So after they're gone, after these next 10 are gone, it's 50 each. But yeah, we're gonna be. I think. What time is this ending? I think Parker, this ends after your live, right?
Switch. Yeah, Parker? What time do you want to go live on your account? Because I got to feed the girls, and then I'll meet you over there. I feed them.
Let me know whenever you can. I don't have like a specific time I have to.
Okay. What time is it? Your time right now?
It's almost 1.
So okay, so we'll we already hit it. So let's finish this. Let's have this debate. Let's just have this fucking debate.
All right, I'll jump out of here.
And then we'll go and then I'll go feed the girls and I'll meet you over there in a little bit. All right. So here it is. This is my abortion stance. I am pro-choice all 9 months, regardless of outcome. Simply put, regardless of outcome. And the reason that I say that is, right, and I explained this to them before, and I'll say it again. If somebody were to be held against their will and made to be pregnant with a child that they do not want by their rapist, they should have the right to end that pregnancy regardless of outcome. That's how I feel. And I don't feel like it's anybody's, like anybody can make that determination other than the woman, period. Because they're the ones who have to, have the child, live with the whatever it is that they have chosen to do, so on and so forth.
Well, Mr. Jones.
We'll take a poll. We'll take a poll after everybody's made their argument.
Well, listen, I'm not.
And we'll see.
You know, I'm pro-choice all 9 months, but I do care about the outcomes at some point. I do understand where you're coming from. Like, it's not like I think you have an evil intention, obviously. I think you just really care about the pregnant person in that instance, and you're also very anti-adoption industry and foster care system because there's so much harm involved in that. However,
the vast majority of our trafficked individuals in the United States come from our adoption and foster care system.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like if somebody wants to end their pregnancy, regardless of outcome, especially in cases of rape or incest, I'm not. Who am I to tell them? You know what I'm saying? I can't impose my morality on you. I wouldn't do it if it was me and like my partner. I wouldn't be like, yo, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But
I just can't rock with that because I do think that human rights begin prior to birth. I'm a little bit agnostic whether or not it is conception or consciousness, because that doesn't necessarily change my stance like on whether or not you have the right to have an abortion. I just think that it is hard to not only be like consistent within your logic, like I don't think we apply this anywhere else, because once the baby is outside of the body, like even if it was born at like 7 months or whatever, you wouldn't hold the position that they can unalive the baby, right? Like you wouldn't. Yeah, and I think that's like, well, I don't really see how the relevance of location would change the ability for you to be able to unalive somebody, because I do think you have the right to remove somebody outside of your body at any instances. However, how you do that is definitely restricted. Just like when somebody punches me and it's like a little kid, I obviously can drop kick it. I would have to remove it in a way that is appropriate. I can end a rights violation with all the means necessary, but I cannot go beyond that.
I hear you. I don't feel like the argument needs to be logically consistent because, again, it is not my, body. It is not me that is having to give birth to this child. I don't think that my morality or my ethical standards should be imposed on anybody. I just don't.
I guess my question in that circumstance would be like, why do you think murder in any circumstance should be illegal?
Why do I think that murder should be illegal?
Yeah.
Like unjustified unaliving of other people?
Yeah, or like
that I certainly believe, is should be illegal.
But isn't that predicated off of what our values are? Like that we just value?
Because that person is like has lived some semblance of a life. We're talking about somebody who's never been outside of the womb. Outside of the womb, that location does change, this
But then you're still imposing your morality on other people in that scenario, right? You saying that like it's wrong for them to like kill a child, right? That would be you imposing your morality on them.
But that's the thing.
Right?
I said earlier, I wouldn't do it. That's my morals, though.
Yeah, I have a question.
That's my morals.
So my question is the same as Hex. Are you saying lethal abortion for all 9 months? Is that what you're
Whatever the
saying?
outcome. Whatever the outcome.
That's the stance.
Whatever the outcome.
Well, as I said, Jones, I'm not as upset at you because I know where you're coming from. Like I understand your reasoning, but big but is that I don't see the justification part of it like reasonable enough for me to say.
I understand that it's not logically consistent. What I'm trying to tell you, it just does not matter what my morals are. Like you keep asking me what I would do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Baby mama.
Like,
I have to. I'm gonna just. You're gonna be mad at me, but I agree with him. So.
And I'm not gonna be mad at you. I think.
So here's my question: do we apply our morals to other people's actions?
Yeah,
I think we do that.
I mean, if
all the
that's
time.
Yeah,
yeah.
so then like when you apply your morals onto other people's actions, like do you think that what they would be doing is wrong, right? If they engage in like a lethal abortion at 34 weeks.
So here's the thing, right? If I felt like, you know what I'm saying, you were engaging in a lethal abortion, at fucking 30 weeks, right? And just for the sake, like, you changed your mind, which we know that would never happen, right? But for argument's sake, because you changed your mind, I'd be like, yo, that's crazy. Like, why would you do that, right?
But at that point, can't they just induce labor?
Sure.
So then
I'm
wouldn't we just say it's
that they
wrong for them
don't.
to do
I
a
said if
lethal
they
abortion?
engaged in lethal abortion at
Yeah.
that stage, I'd be like, yo, that's wild. Like, I don't know why you would do that. But if you're telling me that this woman has literally been enslaved by her abuser, you know what I'm saying, and hasn't been able to like leave the house, go anywhere, do anything, and then they find a way to escape, and they don't want to give birth to their abuser's child. I can't find, you know what I'm saying, a sound
That late, don't
argument
you have to give
against.
birth anyway? Like you have to give birth to the dead baby, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
So
I
then,
think-
like, I really don't know what the difference would be between those actions.
I
Because
mean,
inevitably, by nature, they have to do that.
I understand, but I mean, you run the risk of, yes, you still have to give birth or have a C-section, have it removed from your body, so on and so forth. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, one, live with the constant reminder of your abuser's child. And two, like, you don't have to run the risk of that child looking for you later in life, trying to figure out who their parent was.
Wait, so then by those reasons, couldn't you justify killing them outside of the womb then?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too.
I personally can't.
Well,
but again,
Jones,
But using those reasonings, you would.
can I
I
just
do
use, like, an
understand the
example really quick?
logical inconsistency. I mean, I've acknowledged that from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, I understand that it's not, but it's just like right now, it's all we're doing is like intuition pumping. Of course, like we're just like drawing like examples. Like if you let's just say this woman comes in with the 30-week pregnancy that was held by a captor, which is obviously horrific, and by your
Right.
standard, you say, hey, if they want to have a lethal abortion, that's okay. What if the lethal abortion attempt fails, right? Like they're doing it and then they remove it, and outside they realize, hey, that baby is still alive. Can they now unalive it or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would say
mean,
no to that.
Yeah,
That
I would probably say no to that.
But then
But-
that's why I'm like struggling with that, because nothing
I
has
don't
to
believe
be
a person
pregnant.
has any type of personhood until they're born.
And
Like,
I
that's just my
disagree with
personal
that too.
stance.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
your
you do,
personal
but that's just
stance.
my personal stance.
I just have like I find issues, like I think it's also not just about like logical consistency, because obviously you can say that you're just a particular risk in that specific instance. I don't know. I feel like intuitively I do seem that the value is there, because we do tend to see like the consciousness that is arising at a certain level, that we would try to protect the subjective experience. So that's why I'm struggling so much with that. I think I don't have as many qualms with abortion, like lethal abortion, obviously, prior to a subjective experience, because then, I mean, there's no harm to be done.
I just simply don't think that, you know what I'm saying, like, that it should be, women's bodies should be legislated in any manner, because one, our Constitution says that there should be equal protections under the law. Men's bodies are not legislated against by any shape, form, or fashion, right? So that's number one. Number two, I think that whatever it is that they determine, is the best course of action for them is between them, their doctor, their conscience, and whatever deity or lack thereof that they believe in. I just don't.
If there's a man and an infant kid, right, like their kid, and they get stranded, like at a camping grounds or something like that, in that sort of scenario, would we say that, like, if the man can take care of the kid to sustain their life, should they be obligated to?
It's their child.
Yeah, it's their child.
It's not really the same kind of thing. Look, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say
I'm just asking, like, do we have a
somebody who
moral
has had-
obligation to, like, use our bodily resources to take care of, right, our children?
Do we have a moral obligation to use our
Yeah.
bodily resources to take care of our children?
Yeah, because in that scenario, you'd have to use your bodily resources
My
to,
morals and ethics
to
would say
hunt or
yes,
do
but
whatever you need
I
to
can't.
survive.
But again, I can't say that for someone else.
You
Right,
would
that's another
convince
morals and
them though.
ethics
You would try to
situation.
oh sorry, but I think you would try to convince them of your ethics, of your morality. Like you wouldn't want to have somebody not take care of their child. That's like the whole point. Just like you as a communist, you try to convince people to be empathetic towards others and take care of others, right? Like that's
Absolutely.
right.
You know,
And so I think the whole imposing of morals isn't like the problem, because I do try to convince people every day to be empathetic, to be moral, and to be ethical. Like that's the point. And I want them to act like I would in those instances.
okay, but okay, I think you need to look at it from another perspective, and I can see it from the other perspective because I am that person. Had I had been given a different opportunity, I would not have as many children as I have. And I'm not going to get into it because it's extremely triggering for me and probably will be for other people. But I wasn't afforded the opportunity to have as many options as I should have, and it really sucks.
Yeah.
It really fucking sucks. So had I been afforded those opportunities later, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest, and you guys can be mad at me if you want to. I was in a really fucking awful situation. I would have taken those options had I had them, but
I'm
didn't.
not mad at you at all. Like
Well, I know people will be, but like,
but then they can
it's
literally
my
kick
lived
rocks.
experience.
Yeah, literally kick rocks. Like they don't understand your position. I just think that when I talk about abortion, when how I view abortion is that it is an alternative to being pregnant, right? Like if you
Right.
don't want to be pregnant anymore, that is your right to be, because you have autonomy or bodily integrity that you can remove things and you can be whole and you can be your own person. But I don't think that abortion is an alternative to parental obligation. I think we
Right.
have other systems in place that allow you to give up, or we should at least strive to have better systems that allow you to give up the parental
If that
obligation.
was a viable solution, if adoption and foster care was a viable solution in this country, then sure, but it's not, and we know that it's not. And so I think that it's more immoral to put a child into a system that is that the likelihood of them having a healthy, happy life is slim. I mean, it is extremely slim.
I think
And
that
so
it's also then also dependent on how much resources we give available like throughout the whole pregnancy. That's why I'm not for restricting abortion. Like obviously I think it should be legal throughout all the 9 months, right? Like because of cesarean section or induction of labor, I think you should always be afforded to stop the rights infringement and to terminate the pregnancy at all times. And I think nobody's really, not a lot of people are going in at 35 weeks or something necessarily and saying,
no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this is something that is going to be one-off situations. That these aren't things that are going to happen, at a large scale. However, at the end of the day, I think that if it does happen, it's nobody's business but the woman and their physician. Period. I think that these are extreme circumstances, but see, here's the problem, right? And this is why I say this. If you legislate that, then you've created, you know what I'm saying, this power vacuum where you have to legislate everything. Then you start scaling back and scaling back and scaling back and scaling back.
I don't think you have to
until
legislate
there's no rights
everything.
at all.
In the same way that you're a particularist on this stance, you could be a particularist on any threshold that you intuitively identify. So, like, again, it's about whatever you see to be excessive, and that's all determined by our intuitions. So all we're really doing is we're describing what our intuitions are to each other, trying to understand each other, right? And, I mean, you can have that intuition. Obviously, like, I would understand people having those types of intuitions. But, I mean, in the same way that you feel like you're going to lose out on things, we're going to have to, like, go back too far towards, like, say, a more conservative side, or it's going to be too restrictive. Well, you could say that for any position you have.
I don't think there should be any restrictions on how a woman decides to deal with her pregnancy. I don't think there should be any restrictions.
Yeah, and that's your threshold, right? Like that's where you draw the line. But we already gave an instance where the child would end up in the foster care system or in the adoption system too, and it was due to a failed abortion. Like they are still alive outside the womb, and that's where you say, like, this is the threshold. This is where I draw the line. This is where I don't think we should now unalive the child or be able to.
But it's still, but at the end of the day, I still feel like it's immoral and unethical. Like, shit, it failed. Now we got to put them, you know what I'm saying, in a you know, the adoption or foster care system, which we know is
So are you
unethical
saying in all
as
those
well.
examples you consider them wrong, you just don't want them to be illegal?
Correct.
So then under this notion, it sounds to be like legal murder then.
Yeah.
I think that people should be able to unalive themselves if they want to.
No, but that's not murder.
Well, I understand that.
So
No,
should
I understand that.
murder always be illegal, or should murder only be illegal in most circumstances?
I don't see like having an abortion, you know what I'm saying, a lethal abortion, provided that you haven't actually given birth to the child. I don't necessarily see that as murder. I don't personally see that.
Okay, well then it sounds like you don't consider it wrong then, because when we say murder, we mean the
I wouldn't do
wrong.
it.
Yeah, but when we mean murder, we mean like the wrong killing of a person.
Unjustified, yeah.
Unjustified.
Yeah, unjustified or wrong would be the
unalive.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should unalive people without justification. I certainly don't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we agree. And I think the thing is, like, I don't think you necessarily have to act according to your morals in order to find something ethical or unethical, because obviously you can't even have an abortion.
But I think that you can find justification in the scenario that I gave you. I think that you can find justification.
Parker and I weren't satisfied or were not convinced by your justification. I understand your justification. And I think, as I said, out of all the reasonings that you could possibly have, you are reasonable within your justifications. Like, you really just care about the harm that could potentially arise with foster and adoption. And I'm very anti those systems too, because they are so incredibly harmful to children. But I just don't see a difference between like the baby inside the womb at that point versus like the failed abortion outside the womb, because they would both have the same outcome. And I would say, like, I wouldn't say that in one instance it's right, in one instance it's wrong, or should be allowed and should not be allowed.
I got you. I like I said, I don't grant personhood until birth. You know what I'm saying? Because anything could happen. You could literally, the baby could pass away. You know what I'm saying? In the process of being born. And so I don't feel like there's personhood. There's no personhood established until you are actually born.
And I just want to clarify for the comments one more time, because people are confused. We're all pro-choice on this panel. This is more like a difference in position of pro-choice, just like somebody can still hold just
Thank you, Ian Raid. Appreciate you guys.
Somebody can hold completely bodily autonomy. Some people have like different positions, and that's just what we're simply analyzing right now. Parker and I haven't tag teamed somebody in a while, so that was
It's been a really long time. It's like been like a year or two, I feel
at
like.
least, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I understand that sentience is a better stance. I'm telling you that I hold different standards for like what I would do, but I also don't have a uterus. And I also don't believe in legislating against those who do under any circumstances.
And
So like there's nothing, and when I say that there's nothing that would change my mind about that, I mean there's nothing. I don't feel like you should ever legislate against what someone else does with their body. You know what I'm saying? I can't, you can't sign me up for that.
What about vaccines?
Yeah, but
Not even. But
So like,
however,
let's say that there's a disease that like there's 70% mortality rate, extraordinarily transmissible, right? And there's like half the society believes that if they get this vaccine, that they're going to get sent to hell. Now, like, would you force them to get it so that you can save everyone?
No, so I would not force them to get it. I would, however, though, say that you have to quarantine yourselves. All of you guys have to stay together then. You know, if you don't want to get it, cool. But you can't be with the rest of the people that are getting it. You can't be with the rest of the population.
And if they did leave from those areas, then you would force them to get vaccinated, right?
That you've given them a choice.
Well, isn't that coercion though?
Well, no, it's not.
It is.
I think it is.
It is though, because you're saying like do this or I'm going to force
So
you to
coercion would be like, but let's look at capitalism, for example. Hey, you can't have access to food, healthcare, shelter, water, you know what I'm saying? Like nearly any of the things that you need in order to substantiate life if you don't work, right? In this scenario, y'all can do whatever the hell you want. Have access to all the resources in this space. but you can't leave this space and integrate with the rest of society because you are a danger to them. So it's setting boundaries.
Is this about to turn into a capitalist debate against Parker?
No, I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, we can run that. But
I mean, if you want to run it, we can run it. But I'm saying, like, that's not what I'm attempting
then
to
we're
do
talking
here.
about like differences between natural coercion and coercion, and then also we're saying like I also do think it is coercive to say that like if because if they don't get vaccinated, right? Say in this scenario, you would send them to prison or you'd send them away from society or something bad would happen to them that they don't want, right? I think that's an element of coercion, the same way that like someone could coerce someone using finances.
Yeah, I completely agree. If
I don't, because so what you're saying is that if I, right, am a person who doesn't want to get a
think in the movie
vaccine-
industry, like they say, oh, if you don't have intercourse with me or you don't do this sexual thing to me, I'm not going to promote you.
Yeah.
Well, that's this is not the same. And let me explain
that's
why.
coercive, though.
It's not, because like I said, you're not taking anything away from them. You're not taking away any of their access to resources of any kind, right? All you're saying is that, and you said it. What's the transmutable rate is 70%?
Yeah.
Or is
No, the mortality rate.
The mortality rate.
I could make the mortality rate
Got you.
95%, 99%.
Got you. Okay, cool. So what you're saying is you're intentionally, right? That what I would call that is manslaughter, if not murder, premeditated even, because you know that the mortality rate is high and you're still willing to participate in this activity that's going to unalive other people.
You can say the same thing with the scenario in the abortion, right? At that late, if it's lethal.
I would say that
because you know it's going to lead to their death
because
if it's
I
lethal.
don't grant personhood until they are born.
Okay, well, that's a different discussion. And again, like if we have to establish personhood, but we were just like considering personhood does begin somewhere.
Well, then
Somebody said,
personhood's
why are
established.
Parker Jones arguing?
No, it's fine.
We're not arguing.
Personhood would then be established based on location, which would be the same as someone saying like, oh, the zygote doesn't have value as a zygote, but it has value once it's inside the womb. I feel like that's the same type of argument because it's like location, then it's different. So would you say that that's justified to hold to?
Not necessarily. I mean, so again, you know what I'm saying? Like from sperm to sperm and egg, like conception, you know, all the way through until the person's born. I like all of that makes no difference to me whatsoever. Like I am not interested in any. I understand how the process works, right? But I'm not interested in any of the minutia, right? Like the end result is, hey, does this uterine bearing person not want this pregnancy?
Wait, but that's your justification. Like, I would like to like listen just to your personhood argument because I've never really listened to it. When I just like out of curiosity, you said that it begins at birth. When do you think that personhood ends?
At death, or you know what I'm saying? I would say like brain death and no recovery from brain death. I would say that because so as I mentioned earlier, if I were to die, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I came out the womb, say as soon as I came out the womb, I had fluid on my lungs, you know what I'm saying? And like died, or I didn't even make it out of the birth canal without, you know, perishing. Like there's so many things that can happen during the actual course of childbirth.
Completely. No, I agree.
And so you're not a person until you're born.
I disagree though, because I don't think that when you die is important. It's about like when you like if you had personhood previously, because if you cannot like literally have a miscarriage at like 4 weeks, right? And then I wouldn't consider that as a person because I don't think personhood begins at conception. I think that personhood begins at a certain brain activity and brain structure, like consciousness.
Sure, but here's the thing though. Would you make the legal argument that that fathers should start paying child support at personhood?
Yeah, no,
in the womb,
even before that, because I think that
at conception.
I think that reproductive labor is labor. I
agree with that. Okay, I agree with that.
So I think that shouldn't be compensated.
So, but what if the pregnancy ends? You know what I'm saying? With you know, unintentionally.
That's okay.
Do you have to reimburse the money?
For the time being that you have provided the reproductive labor and your body was under infringement, and you wanted that and you didn't want it specifically, then I think you should be reimbursed. And I think it should be done by the state. Like I feel like you can probably say like some like people that like wanted to be pregnant and don't care to be paid for it because all their material needs are met.
And
Then
I agree with all of this, everything that you said, up to this point, I agree with all of this. Here's the problem, right? We still live in a patriarchal society where men would fight, you know what I'm saying, something like that, tooth and nail. And at the end of the day, right? And why I hold the stance that I hold is because men historically, especially in American society, have had way too much control over women's bodily autonomy, medical privacy, their children, so on and so forth, have had entirely too much control. And at some point, right, control has to be relinquished. Women should be able to make whatever decision they deem best. And nobody else should be able to impose either their moral, or ethical, or religious will on them.
That's why I'm pro-choice all 9 months, 100%, because I mean, especially being pregnant now, I've never been as pro-choice in my life as I am right now. Like the amount of hardships that I had to go through, the nausea, the mental aspects of it, the physical aspects of it, it's no joke. I can't imagine being forced to be pregnant. Like I want this baby, so of course it's different. But I cannot imagine being forced to do that. And that's why I do believe that every single person with a uterus has the right to terminate a pregnancy at any given point.
I think autonomy is autonomy.
Yeah, but I don't agree with the outcomes because by that standard, if you say autonomy is autonomy, then I could say, well, somebody flicked me, therefore I can unalive them. Like we have.
No, that's not the same at all.
It's the same thing. It's the same logical principle. Then I can say, well, autonomy is autonomy. They infringe on my autonomy, therefore I can do whatever I want.
Right.
Like we can. But I completely agree.
But I feel like we're ignoring. I feel like if we're taking this moral stance, that we're ignoring, you know what I'm saying, the other moral and ethical implications of adoption and foster care. And not only just adoption and foster care, but also looking at the fact that 1 in 5 children in the United States go to bed without food every night. 1 in 7 households deal with food insecurity. More than 50% of kids in the United States don't have regular access to health care, mental health care, and 70% have or more have no access to dental care. And then we talk about fresh fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like 40% of children in the United States live in food deserts. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about the moral implications.
Can we also address?
I want Bobby to go too, but go ahead, no Reds, and then Bobby.
Can we also address the concern of the other parent, right? Because that's something that's come up in the comments. Well, you don't want foster care, you don't want abortion, if you know, or you don't want adoption, you know the other parent, why would you not let the other parent take care of them? If just from personal experience relating to this, if you are in this situation, the other parent is not a viable option as a parent. You're this far along in a pregnancy and you choose not to use adoption as an option. There's reasons. There's serious reasons for making these decisions. And I don't think that there would be any individual who would carry a pregnancy that long and just be like, nah.
Exactly
that.
that.
There's danger involved, not only for the mother, but then once the child is outside the womb and a living, breathing, sentient being, they are also in danger. And I'm speaking on this from personal experience and having to be tied to someone who is mentally inconsistent and mentally dangerous. I would have chosen other options. I would have. Like, I love my kid. She's the best. If you guys ever get to see her or talk to her, you'll love her too. Like, that's my little buddy. But I would have chosen other options just to not be tied to that individual because of the terrible, terrible person they have become.
The point that I wanted to make, I'm kind of on Jones's side on this with the all 9 months thing. Although I do value sentience and my personal morality would say that I wouldn't. I mean, I'm pro-life for myself, I guess, but what I wanted to say is that if we establish, whatever age we think personhood happens, and, when viability and all that stuff, let's say, fine, maybe we all agree to 30 weeks or something. or whatever. And then, you have women who go to their OBGYN appointment, the 38 weeks, 39 weeks, and the baby is fully grown, heartbeat, everything's ready to go. I had a really tough labor, my last pregnancy. And at 38 weeks, I was like ready to pop. I was ready to have the baby. And my OBGYN was like, maybe we can, get him to get labor to move along. I'd been in pre-labor for 2 weeks at that point. And my doctor wanted to give an induction, but she said that she would have to ask supervisors about it because they had a policy, an administrative policy that would not allow them to induce a pregnancy. I think I was like a day short or something. And so
That's ridiculous. I
So-
would definitely be against that. Like, you should be able to induce at that point for sure.
after viability would be, I would say, like, after viability, all abortions should be basically inductions, unless there's an issue with like maybe the baby isn't actually viable. There's all kinds of reasons. There's so many reasons why.
Yeah, like medical circumstances, absolutely.
Right, where babies don't make it. Now, in my case, the doctor asked the administration. They said, no, let's wait a few more days. 4 days later, I go to the hospital, fully dilated, ready to pop, and there's no heartbeat. And if we had induced my pregnancy at my last OBGYN appointment with my doctor's recommendations, with what I wanted, I would have a 4-year-old right now. So the thing about putting these limits and saying, okay, pro-choice until viability, the thing is that if they had induced me and he had died anyways, the doctor could have lost her license. I could have sued for medical malpractice, even though, it's what I wanted. But if it hadn't been exactly the way it is, the hospital could have gotten in trouble. People could have lost their jobs. And then there are too many. This whole thing about we use so many hypotheticals when we're talking about pregnancy and abortion. What if the baby's born at 7 weeks and now it's outside of your body? There are real people going through real medical crises with their unborn children, and they're 38 weeks along and they're 39 weeks along, and we can't be legislating and saying that women can't get a quote unquote abortion, because what if the baby dies anyways? Exactly like what Joan said, exactly like what happened with me. There's no way that if my doctor would have done what I wanted them to do and he died anyways, that she should have gone to jail.
No, that's why I completely agree. I think we have like the exact same position. I don't believe that you should stop having abortions after viability. I just believe in the type of abortion that would change. Like after viability, I'm just for induction or cesarean. And of course, in medical instances, if it has to be lethal, like obviously I'm not against that. I think we should obviously, like doctors can make that determination. They can say, hey, here's the risks associated with having like an abortion at 26 weeks for you and the baby. So the patient can make an informed decision. Of course, like, is it maybe good to wait a week? But under no circumstances should there be force involved. Like when the mom says, hey, I cannot do it mentally anymore, I cannot do it physically anymore, I cannot be pregnant anymore, then she should have an abortion, 100%.
And I also wanted to just echo, thank you, Joan, so much for mentioning the fact that not all women who are pregnant are safe. Not all women have a choice, even if it's legal. Not all women have a choice. And the pregnancy I just told you about, that was number 5. I have no living children. My previous 4 children that I lost were before, during, and after trafficking. I was impregnated by a trafficker, and it's the whole situation, all 9 months is precarious for women and precarious for doctors. And I feel like everyone should be pro-choice all 9 months, because we shouldn't be putting doctors in jail or taking away their licenses when they're doing exactly what they think is right according to their medical expertise. And I mean, like personally, right? So if I was in, I would never want an abortion for myself. Okay, I've always wanted to be a mom. But if I was in a position where I was trapped in like a DV situation, and he was like, "You're never gonna get rid of me now that you got my baby," like it wouldn't matter if I was 7 months along. I wouldn't want to have that baby. I wouldn't want to bring a baby into a household that is dangerous like that. And personally, if you're in like a DV situation, you can't just give the baby away either. You can't just be like, "Oh yeah, I don't like you anymore. We should probably break up. So I'm gonna just send your baby to the States." The fact that that unaliving for pregnant women is predominantly because they're murdered. That statistic alone should be enough that everyone is pro-choice all 9 months.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Hey, Jessica Marie. So then take your baby out of that situation with you. I did. That is the most insensitive shit that I've ever seen. Like, what the
Sure
fuck?
is. Sure
Like,
is.
oh yeah, why don't you just leave?
I saw that.
Bobby, feel free to
Like,
reach
yo,
out
that's
to me.
crazy.
My DMs are open for you anytime. I mean, that goes for anyone. If you need any emotional support, if you want to talk to somebody, this tough family is really about taking care of people, period. So you're always welcome in my DMs if you want to talk about something.
I appreciate that. I'm trying really hard to get away from trauma dumping. I've like ruined my reputation on TikTok because of trauma dumping. It's just that like TikTok is so like people get so in their feelings and so emotional. And I feel like so many of the people who are yelling so loud, like they don't have a personal stake in the things they're arguing about and stuff. I'm trying to get away from trauma dumping. I just get triggered and then I just have to say it. It's like the ADD thing.
I think it's also an important part of the conversation. Like we're talking about real people, right? Like we're not just talking about hypotheticals and just about like what ifs. Like we're talking about how people are affected by policies and legislations. And I am the first one to change their stance on something if I see the effects of a certain policy and a certain legislation. So if I see that there's benefits, like a lot of benefits associated with like even having like lethal abortions all 9 months, then I'm happy to change my stance on that. That's not what it is about. I think we should talk about it. And I think thank you for doing the emotional labor and share your story. And as I said, you can always reach out to me and talk about it if you want to. I'm pretty good with like distracting people or making them feel good and just letting somebody feel heard. Okay, so
I want Adorna to go really quickly. Then Athena's going to go over the project one more time. Then I'll quickly let Mama Amy talk, and then we got to go.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I was just wondering, so I know that just in terms of like when they call like time of birth, for example, they are talking about full body out. But for you personally, I'm wondering when you say that you think it should be able to be lethal, at what point do you mean? So do you mean like if the head is out and it's taking its
No.
Because at
No,
that
it's
point in
okay.
time, it's not technically born because you said you didn't think it was born. I mean, it's a person until it's born. So
I got you.
legally, it's not born at that point.
I feel like we're trying to drill it down, you know what I'm saying, to like the exact moment, like has it breached the cervix, so on and so forth. And that's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying that after the child, is born, like legitimately born, and then there's no way you can determine, hey, I don't want it anymore. But prior to going into labor, prior to having the baby, so on and so forth, I feel like you should be able to end that pregnancy in any manner you deem fit as a woman or as a uterine bearing person. And that's simply it. I don't. It's not. I don't think that it should be legislated against. And Adorna, we've talked about this before. I told you this before. I don't think this should be legislation.
Well, yeah,
Simply that.
legislation. So, but so I just happen to I rock with what Kiara said. I'm pro-choice, and I'm totally down with the ability to have an abortion all 9 months, and because what you're determining at that point is what you want to be able to happen to your body, right? So I don't want to be pregnant anymore. It, to me, is totally different than I don't want it alive anymore. Those are two different things to me.
I got you. There's going to be extreme circumstances, as Bobby was talking about, the trafficking situation, the DV situations, there's going to be incest. There's going to be extreme circumstances where people are like, I can't bear to live with myself having this child.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, yeah. I understand, yeah, because I do understand, yeah, the foster system, adoption, etc. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But I guess it just depends on what your abortion stance is then, because bodily autonomy would just mean I think I shouldn't have to carry it. To me, that's just different than determining whether you.
Yeah, like I said, I understand that it's not that to some people that's a horrendous take, so on and so forth. But again, in these unfortunate circumstances, I cannot see that I can't make an ethical or moral stance to impose, right? How I feel. Okay, baby. Impose how I feel on somebody else, because like that could be like literally earth shattering for them. It could destroy that woman and their life, entirely.
I mean, just knowing that there's a baby out there, because as was pointed out, they still have to deliver it. So just knowing that a baby's out there could destroy them, you're saying? Okay.
In my situation, there wasn't a choice for me to have a baby within my domestic violence situation. My choices were get an abortion or we'll give you one. So it's not like women can all just go to the state or turn to their families. Like there's just not always a choice, and it's just that simple, I think.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't think that this, even if it was allowable, right? I don't think that this is something that's going to happen, on a regular basis. I don't think that people are just going to be rushing out. If somebody makes it, unless, like I said, they're in the circumstances that I was talking about, unless they're in a circumstance where they're literally trapped and can't get away, right? I don't think that people are just going to make it to 33 weeks, 36 weeks and be like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I changed my mind. Like the likelihood of that happening is slim and none.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. So I would be okay. I'm okay with. I understand your viewpoint. Let me say that I understand your viewpoint. Because for me, the day before my due date is not any different than the day after my due date. Like if I actually had it on the due date, to me that's any different. But I can see why for us the difference is the same as for me not being okay after sentience and someone who's saying before they still think it's not okay. So to me, I understand that it's a line. It's just now I understand how they feel, kind of. To be honest,
right. Because like I said, until you've been in one of those life-altering situations that I mentioned, like how can you, impose your morals and ethics on somebody else who has or is? Like imagine you've been trapped in somebody's basement, pregnant with your abuser's child, for 26 weeks, and then you come out. Like, who am I to tell you? Nope, you got to have that baby. And if you don't want it, you got to give it up for adoption. And if that baby comes looking for you later on in life, oh well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to say things like that? So I understand it's not popular, but I feel how I feel.
So it's also you coming from a compassionate stance, so that's why I keep saying that I don't hate you for it. Like I don't think you're a bad person.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it actually. I
Yeah.
appreciate your feeling as though I should have decision over my life. So I understand that.
All right, Mama Amy, go ahead. Mama Amy, go ahead. Then we're gonna take a poll and see where people land on this, and then we're gonna go. Sorry. Sorry, Athena. Sorry, go.
Bye is live.
This is giving me Vietnam War flashbacks to the debate that we had. That's why I'm just keeping
I know.
But anyways, hold Hold on. Wait. What the hell? Why is there a watermelon on my screen? Wait a second. What?
It seems like that Athena got affected by the Jones boomer gene.
What boomer gene? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you not?
How does technology work? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay. Fine.
What happened?
Who shrank me? Was
There
it
you
you,
go.
Kiara?
I just
That
wanted to
was
show my meme, but it doesn't work. I just made a
Vi contesto
how does
more.
technology work?
Vi
I
contesto
made a
more.
meme for Jones. How does
That's
technology
funny.
work?
See, it was the ancestors because you tried to make fun of me, and that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, hold on. I have my iPad here. Let me get it in front of me. Okay. I have the PDF. So, hi everybody. I've explained this project multiple times today, but I'll try to do it again as authentic as possible. Bon appetit, Parker, by the way. I wanted to say, so, what the hell? Somebody said I was pro-Israel. No. Okay, so this is like the unveiling of a project that I have been working on for a while that I have launched today officially. The first set of like the debut live was literally on Mr. Jones Live, and the debut set of lives are Mr. Jones and Parker's. I've just noticed that in the media we literally get a very one-sided perspective into what's happening in Gaza, which is a very Zionist or Israeli perspective. And so I wanted to focus on amplifying Palestinian voices. The first half, like not the majority of the live, actually, there were Palestinians on the panel who shared their perspective as well. There were diasporan Palestinians, there were Palestinians from Gaza as well, who gave us the kind of like, who basically shared and illustrated the brutality and the violence of the occupation from their particular perspective. So the project is going to be called From the River Across the Sea, very, very similar to from the, like basically inspired by From the River to the Sea, which is a slogan, From the River Palestine will be free. It's going to be a fundraiser live. Don Trell painted this beautiful painting and is auctioning it off with the help of Liv and Crow or Whisper, who have set up a website that you can find, a link that you can find literally on Mr. Jones' link tree. You click on that, you can buy multiple tickets. It will be like a lottery system. One person is going to win the plate, and the money is going to go to Gaza, people that I personally know who are on the ground in Gaza today. It will go towards basically paying for existential like things, like needs, like food, water, medication as well.
Athena, when will the raffle be drawn?
Friday.
Friday.
Show them that you support them. And number 4 is boycotting. Literally, you have to have a list, a boycott list. The BDS list is what the list is. If you Google BDS list, it will give you a list of corporations to boycott. Those corporations like specifically fund the genocide that's happening in Gaza, but also in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Let's not forget those. And then lastly is, pressure your representatives, send them an email, call them consistently. If you want to pressure your representatives, here is a good website. If you are in the States, I have it here, There we go. This is the website you can go to. You can add in like your zip code, I think, and then it just automatically generates an email for you that it sends to all like your representatives in the area as well, including the BDS list. And then lastly, vote. Vote at every single level, local level, and also presidential level as well. Vote out any politician who is corrupt and who would basically care more about money than they care about just people. whether it is American people, whether it is people abroad as well. And so that is the call to action. Please do it off the live as well. And I hope y'all can do me a favor and actually follow through with that. And thank you very much to Mr. Jones, and thank you for Jones, not Mr. Jones, and Jones, and thank you to Parker as well for participating in this project. And this is the plate that Dontrell.
Yeah, this right here is what you'll be bidding on if you go to Free Palestine in my link tree. Free Palestine in my link tree. I think it's like the second link down. Free Palestine. I don't think there's any $25 tickets left, but there is $50 tickets. Dantrell Bonet Boone. He's been on the cover of Time magazine. His name is also on a national monument. His last original piece of artwork sold at Neiman Marcus for $52,000. So you'll be able to own one of his pieces. And if you know anything about art, they only appreciate in value. They only appreciate in value. As a matter of fact, since I have, hold on one second.
Yeah, people have been asking, Athena, do you have like a specific Venmo or Cash App where people can donate to?
Oh, wow.
That's so beautiful.
So I have one of his pieces. This is from the Adorna collection. I don't want to take it out of the plastic right now because I'm not ready to mount it or anything. And sorry, I have the glare, but this is one of his pieces right here. It's called, it's from the Adorna collection. I mean, it's masterful, masterful work. So, like I said, $50. You can buy as many of them as you want. The link is in the bio. And you know, the money goes to an amazing cause. So if you can, you know, please help. Mama Amy.
Wait, I'm sorry. Kiana had a
Yeah, that's just we just have to figure something out really quick because people are still like they still remember that I've been fundraising for a specific family in Gaza.
Yeah, their link is in the bio.
Yeah,
as well.
you can still you can obviously still donate to them, and if you send me a Venmo and tell me specifically that you want to donate for them, I've been sending money their way. We have raised over $1,200 so far, which is amazing. But for Athena's cause specifically, Athena, you can talk about whose Venmo or Cash App they can send money to in order to raise money.
Yeah, if you want to donate money, just like send me a message request and I'll give you the specific charities that you can donate to and the specific people who are on the ground in Gaza that you can donate to. I am going to specifically also kind of prioritize the people who are on the ground, who are like staying on the ground and trying to find like food and water for the people who are stuck in Gaza and who aren't able to leave. And so just send me like a message request if you are really interested in sending money, and I'll just kind of connect you to either a person in Gaza or just charities, basically.
I just want to say really quickly that I love literally how much, you know, our collective communities go out of their way, you know what I'm saying, to support each other, both here and, you know, for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. I mean, like just last month, me and Parker raised over $20,000 on a live. In totality, we did over $50,000 worth of donations between Parker, myself, Dantrell, and Liv. This month, me and No Rads this past weekend went to a local Publix and handed out a bunch of gift cards to people to help them with their groceries, and bought two families their entire grocery order. We paid for, you know, all of their groceries. This is proof that, you know what I'm saying, like if we work together as a community, we can go further. I say this all the time. The government is literally not coming to save us. We have to do it for ourselves. And we have proven, you know, using this app and our platforms that we can, in fact, do just that.
I'm not trying to trigger Parker here, but Marxism intensifies.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, Mama Amy has been trying to talk. I'm so sorry, but I really wanted for people to know where they can donate to, and yeah, that's obviously very important.
All right, go ahead.
Well, honestly, I feel really bad going back to the other subject after all that. Free Palestine. Also, for
Absolutely.
months and months and months, I have been contacting the president, the vice president, and my local officials every single day. They make it really easy on websites to do it, and I've been yelling about this. But back to what I came up for, which was I completely agree, Mr. Jones, that it should be all 9 months and we should be out of it. The overturning of Roe had a line which was 24 weeks. We no longer have that line. I live in Oregon, which has no restrictions at all. But what is happening now is people are coming here, but they're having to wait much longer than they would have before. So we're getting a lot of 30+ week coming in because they now have to plan months out to try to come in and get it done in a state that will allow it, whereas they can't do it at home. So we are effectively increasing later term because of the restrictions that are being put in place in other states. So, the people who are putting these restrictions in place are really getting the opposite effect of what they wanted. And women should always have the choice over their bodies. And it's a very nuanced situation, and the government should stay out of women's bodies and should stay out of families' choices. We can go into like all the horrific things that does happen to women every single day in this country and why they may wait until they're in their 30 weeks. It's very true. And people who say things like the horrific comment that was made earlier about, just take your kid and leave. That's the most dangerous point for a
Right.
woman.
Right.
And,
Like that's how they end up
so,
unalived.
Right. So we cannot say things like that. So I absolutely agree, and I got your back on that all 9 months, no matter what, it's the woman's choice. We need to get out of it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I could have thrown in more stuff, but there's no need. We're
Secrets to end it. We're gonna take a poll real quick. Let's take a quick
It's a
poll.
biased live.
No, we're gonna take a
It's
quick
a biased
poll.
live, y'all liberals and Democrats.
It's either you're pro-life. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Let me just
I'm
end this.
sorry. This is literally unfair. This is
It's not.
unreasonable.
Okay,
It's
so
not.
hold on. Okay,
So
hold on,
either
hold
you're
on.
pro-life all 9 months, regardless of outcome, or you're pro-choice.
Okay,
Pro-choice,
it's
pro-choice all 9
pro-choice.
months, regardless of
Yes.
outcome. Let me finish. Or you're wavering between pro-life and pro-choice, and you're not really sure where you're at.
All right. Or we can listen to like the free people with a uterus that have debated this. We had against you. We had Athena, me, and Adorna. And I mean, I was like abandoned by my baby daddy, but who cares?
Don't. You know what? We'll talk about this off the app, and I'll explain to you why I feel the way that I feel. But your pregnancy hormones might make you a crying, ridiculous mess for the rest of the night, and I may also cry. But I will explain it to you if you would like me to. I have no problem talking about it.
No,
Just not on
I'm
here.
just joking, love. Like I obviously respect your opinion, and you can always talk to me, always.
And you don't want to hear this story.
Always, I'm always here.
Okay. So we have pro-choice all 9 months, regardless of outcome, smiley face. Pro-choice all 9 months, however, you make an exception for sentience. So pro-sentience, sad face, pro-choice all 9 months, regardless of outcome, happy face.
That's already a
Okay.
psychological trick because
No, it's
the
not.
sad
It
face.
should just be
you're
lethal or
associated-
non-lethal all 9 months. Lethal or non-lethal. all 9 months.
Okay. So, Jesus Christ. All right.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Just do
Okay,
it.
so you heard, guys, pro-choice all 9 months, regardless of outcome,
You guys can't put the emoji. You gotta wait till he puts the poll up and then select it.
Yes, I'm about to.
Man,
Smiley face team Jones, sad face team Kiara and Parker.
ain't there somewhere in the middle, Parker?
Hold on 1 second, buddy.
While they're voting, I would definitely say, like, I wouldn't have held that firm of a standpoint on agreeing with you until we have had numerous discussions about this. And I really just did a deep dive into my feelings and situations that I've seen people in this country go through, particularly since the overturning of Roe. And it definitely has changed my mind.
Yeah, I just think like the position that I'm Parker would probably agree. Like it's not just abortion. Like obviously there's so many systemic issues that are associated with abortions and like how those would be there, like what implications would be present. And I think in my ideal world, like this is why I put Marxist in the background, because all the things you talked about I think could be fixed with communism.
I
Or
agree.
at least yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think
I definitely don't disagree with you at all. I agree with you on that, Kiara.
that's why I'm like I don't think that you can just leave it at abortion, and that's why I don't like oftentimes like people just leaving it at abortion because they ignore like the reasons why people have abortion. I don't want people to have abortions that don't want to have abortions, period. And a lot
Kiara,
of
I don't
people
want to
do.
brag or anything, but y'all got smoked.
That's okay. It's your platform. Let's go on Parker's platform.
Don't even try. Don't even try.
Let's go on
Oh, yeah, should we go on my live real quick?
No, I mean,
Wait, it's gonna be like 1,000 people on my side.
It's not like there's that much. There's that much difference in, you know what I'm saying, like our watcher
Let's
base.
try it.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
Darn it.
I'm fine with that.
Darn nabbit.
What's up, C?
Hey, how have y'all been? Long time no
Good.
talk.
How you been?
Been okay. Been okay. There are a few points that I kind of wanted to bring forth. Like despite, you know, the philosophical conversations that we have regarding like the morality of it all, there are a lot of things that people tend to overlook, and I think that those things are starting to come to light, come to fruition. And I feel like if people were more educated on what is happening, they'd be more open to maybe, you know, switching sides. Hopefully. One of those examples being here in Texas, pretty close to where I lived yesterday morning, there was an infant, thankfully found alive, but wrapped in a towel along a hiking trail and just abandoned. And thankfully, a couple came across really early in the morning and with their dogs, and their dogs ended up sniffing it out. And it's stable now. The baby is stable in a hospital. But these are some of the repercussions that we see with the, you know, revoking of Roe v. Wade. And I would hope that people would also look into what Project 2025 is going to do if that comes into fruition, and, you know, kind of...
And the Supreme Court is supposed to be hearing no fault divorce. Like, I just don't think that people understand the you know what I'm saying, the implications here. I really don't. But
yeah, no, I mean, they are. It is looking to what did I read? To get into data. Look, something about data and figuring out like if women are going to seeking abortions through other means, like going through to other states, they will start prosecuting women and charging women with whatever they do charge them with now currently, like in states like Texas where I am, with the crime of acquiring an abortion through data seeking, I believe is what it's called. And that's from the Project 2025 website itself. And that's
tracking people's tracking people's abortion.
Yeah,
I mean tracking people's pregnancies.
Tracking people's pregnancies, as well as I think something to do with I know this is on the 2025 or Project 2025 website, but I did read it elsewhere. It might not be something that they've officially came out with, but phone tracking as well. So there's something to look at as well. I know right now, as it is, I don't know if people are aware of this, but while it still is available, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but there are ways to acquire the pills if you are in a state that it is illegal in, and there will not be a way, at least there is not a way right now to track that. I don't know about in the future, but right now there is not a way to track that.
Secrets is not pro-life.
I'm sorry.
No.
Somebody just asked me if my background, if that's Darwin in my background.
Darwin is crazy.
Oh goodness.
I cannot
there.
believe y'all. That is clearly Eminem. Okay, calm down.
Stop. No, that's actually Kiara's grandfather, and I don't know if y'all are aware, but
For real.
yeah, y'all are sick. But also another point that I wanted to bring up is I hear a lot of pro-lifers saying telling women to like move out of their states if they don't like the legislation that's there, and I don't feel like people really look into the well, one
The
the
people
financial
suggesting
ability
this
to
have
do
never
so.
moved a day in their life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They've lived in the
I mean,
same backwoods ass town since they were born.
yeah,
So
and I mean, I've lived in Texas my entire life, and one, it's not it's not a financial ability for everyone. Two, there are people. If we look at statistics, there are a large number of people who are geographically restricted to their area, whether that be from a child custody case like myself. Like, I'm not allowed to move out of Texas, unfortunately, so I pray. I'm not religious, I don't know what I'm praying to, but whatever, to the abortion gods. I pray to the abortion gods that nothing fucking happens to me in which I end up pregnant, and I'm unable to acquire an abortion in my state. I can't move. I simply cannot move. I'm not allowed to, because my kids, like, I am geographically restricted to this certain county in central Texas, in the middle of Texas. So I can't just, go outside to Louisiana or wherever the hell, or I think it's New Mexico is the closest place where abortion is
Louisiana
legal.
just passed legislation today requiring the 10 Commandments be on every classroom wall. Just so
Oh,
y'all know.
love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think New Mexico or Colorado is the closest state to me where it is legally allowed. So yeah, there are people who just simply are legally not allowed to move, and the only way that they could is if they give up custody of their children, which is what most pro-lifers will fight against anyway.
Right.
So that's another thing to think about that I think people aren't really looking into.
Most state legislatures, though, do have a referendum to where you could take it to a vote. You've been seeing a lot of states that they came out and said no to abortion, but then the people ratified it, took it for vote, and now it's in their state.
Yeah, so that happened to Ohio. The people voted to have abortion, and then the state legislature said, I don't give a fuck what y'all said, we're going to do it anyway.
Well, they're going to do 18 weeks.
But the people
Right.
spoke. The people spoke.
Right.
The people made their voice. You know what I'm saying? Their voice is clear.
Their problem was when they did.
We have come to the understanding that the government, especially our conservative members of government, do not give a flying fuck about what the people have to say.
Now, my question to y'all
Here's what the problem was. Let me explain
sorry.
the problem in Ohio real quick. The problem in Ohio was when they wrote the referendum, they didn't take it like they did with to legalize marijuana. That referendum was lock, stock, and barrel to the exact T. You know what I mean? They had people help them, but it wasn't. They needed a little bit more firepower legally wise. If it would have been just a little bit more words in the referendum, it would have been the 22 weeks that they wanted.
Yeah.
Now, my question to y'all is like, so obviously, us being in the TikTok community, debate community, we talk to a lot of genuine pro-lifers who truly believe that, a fetus's life at all stages should supersede
Valuable. The woman's rights.
The woman's rights. But something in me, like, intuitively just tells me that the government really doesn't give a shit about that. So what do y'all think it is? Like, do y'all think it's like population control that they need more people in the population? Do you think it's because
it's a specific
people in our
demographic
generation
of people
are not having babies, or like,
I think
they're trying to get rid of a certain?
I think they're trying to attribute consequences to sex.
Mhm.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what the Christian nationalists say, at least.
Yeah,
right?
but in addition to that, I think part
that's
of
why they
this
want to
is
ban contraceptive.
So I said this in 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said this in 2016. Here's the problem, right? Birth rate is down, especially for white Americans. The marriage rate is down, specifically for white Americans. White women we're starting to excel in corporate America, and in academia. And so what did they do? Affirmative action, got rid of it. Roe v. Wade, got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, So and now they're trying to get rid of no fault divorce, which we know that the vast majority of divorces are filed initially by women now.
Oh
So
God,
I mean,
yeah, I hate to break this to you, friend, but it's capitalism. Because I mean there needs to be like a surplus in workers, especially like in the lower socioeconomic classes, in order to supply cheap labor to the capitalists. And I think that's like predominantly the reason why we see like restrictions.
And that seems to be like that's what I believe too. And I don't really like, just something is telling me that like these Christian officials in government do not genuinely give a shit about these fetuses. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Otherwise,
because once they're born, they don't
see-
pass any
Yeah,
legislation to make sure the material conditions are
Exactly.
met.
Have to be kept poor as well. Like that's like the whole point. Because the rich people, matter of fact, are still gonna have an abortion. Like that's not even like discussed. It's like no matter what situation they're in, they're always going to have their private jets. They can always fly to another country or to a different state. So those policies never have affected rich people. They affect
I
only
have two
poor
sides.
people.
I have two sides to it. I'm here today at 50 years old. My grandma was pregnant at 12, and because there was no abortions, my mom was born. But that mean that's I'm not activating for abortion or against it. I'm just saying that if it was there in 53, I wouldn't be here today. And she was raped by an older boy, 16 years old. And actually, after she died, my mom had Ancestry done, Ancestry.com, and they found out who her father's family was that lived like 5-6 houses down from where we grew up. Really crazy. My grandma would never tell who it was. She was very did not like, if you brought the subject up, like it would be shut down. To me, I believe in abortion up to the 22, 24 months. I mean, 22,
Oh, I was
24
about to say, God damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, 22, 24 weeks.
Don't you ever come for me again.
Yeah.
know.
I just,
That
I
daycare
think
is expensive.
I had a son. My middle son survived at 21 months. I mean, 21 weeks. Sorry, at 21 weeks, he survived, and I know that seeing him every day for that whole period of time, you know what I mean, holding him as a little guy. That I think, well, but then it's not none of my business though either. So I don't care. It's none of my business. I just say by morally myself. That's how I feel. If you want, whoever has to do what they got to do, that's them. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a Republican, but I believe in abortion.
Well,
I
now
believe in
see,
abortion.
now
Okay,
see,
I
this
think
Hey,
is
please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
this is
That
going
gotta
to start
stop. This is where we stop.
another debate.
This is where we
I do
stop.
believe in it.
This
I believe
is
in
where
it.
we
This is where we stop.
stop because I do not want to open up Pandora's box, please.
I believe in it though.
But just so
Okay,
you know,
thank you, Davey.
Davey's a
Wisconsin
Trump
Assembly
supporter.
Speaker Robin Voss did specifically state that he thinks abortion should be illegal because we need more workers. So,
All right. Hey, listen, guys. It's been real. Thank you. We sold, I don't know, 60 plus tickets already, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everybody that's contributed, everybody that's been on the panel, everybody that is subscribed, that sent gifts, that sent Cash Apps and Venmos and PayPals. I love you all. I have to go feed my children. And then I'll hop on with Parker after I'm done doing that. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. I think Athena's going to be going with Parker, and I'll be on in a little while.
Should we wait, or do you think that we should just start and then you'll join in later? It's up to you.
Yeah, just give me 30 minutes.
Okay, for sure.
So go. So I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys decide.
we need a minimum. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Anyways, all
Minimum.
right, guys. Listen, check on your friends. Everybody who says they're okay is not necessarily okay. Protect your peace at all costs. Take care of your mental health. If you have not yet started your therapy journey, today's an amazing opportunity for you to do so. Therapy is not a fix-all. You have to do the work. Eat as healthy as you can. Drink your water. Take your medication. And stay dangerous. Also,
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, and also don't be a bigot.
Be a bigot.
Don't be a bigot.
It can be one of
For
your
real.
affirmations every day if you're not a bigot.
Yes,
You're
drink water,
a bigot.
be nice, and
Yeah.
don't be a bigot. Happy Pride, happy Juneteenth. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Haiti, free Sudan,